the air, water, and electrical are hooked up. This is the main power on and off switch. Turn the power on. If the phase light lights up, that means you need to change the phasing on the three-phase power coming in. Emergency stop. Twist reset. In order to run the saw, you need to have the hold downs down. Once you have the screen lit up for the saw blade, forward would to turn the saw blade on. You need to make sure that you have the saw blade installed correctly. Cover needs to be completely closed. There's a safety latch here, so with this cover open, you cannot run the saw blade. The alarm comes on. Okay, so you have the screen lit up. Saw turn on, use a forward switch. The RPM change is simple up and down arrow. Okay, turn the saw off, hit the stop button. Okay, so with the saw running, that's the only time that the cross travel will actually move, is with the saw running. The saw off, you try to turn the cross travel on, it does nothing, forward or backwards. Turn the saw blade on, and you can run the saw blade forward. Cut mode is X+. This is your speed adjustment. You can go down with the speed adjustment, and then it will ask you to hit the enter button, and it will save that speed. You want to increase your speed. Hit the enter button, and it will save that speed. Continue to run that way. Once your piece is completely cut, you can either let the saw run all the way to the end of the travel, or hit the black button. The black button stops the saw travel, but it does not stop the saw blade. The saw blade continues to run. To return the saw blade, hit X-, and the saw blade will start returning. And it's going to go at that speed unless you hit this switch, which is the increased speed switch, and then it'll go to max speed to return the saw blade. Saw blade automatically stops, cross travel stops once it reaches the end, but the blade continues to run. To stop the blade, stop the blade. This switch is for the intermediate stop. On the back of the machine, there's a way to stop the cross travel after it's gone through the cut, and you can set that by sliding this device to wherever you need it to be. Then just tighten the screw up or the knob. Move that to wherever you need it to be. Tighten the knob. Position. The saw will continue to travel past that all the way to the end, either until the black button is hit or until it reaches the micro switch on the far end, on the plus end. With this engaged, it will go as far as that stop is concerned, wherever you have it set, and it will stop. The blade will continue to run. Saw blade on. X+ on. .3 is max speed. This switch only works on the return travel. So if I lower the speed back down again, return travel will be at that speed, whatever you have set, unless you turn the switch. It'll increase the max speed. This switch does not work on forward motion. So X plus, the switch can be in either position, it's going to stay at the same speed. Cut mode, need to turn the water on. It might be a good idea to see where the nozzles are pointed. You have 4 click lock nozzles. 2 on one end of the blade and 2 on the other end of the blade. Water should pour on the blade at both ends. Okay. Door must be closed. Hold downs must be down. Get the display on the saw. Forward speed. Turn water on. And hit X forward or turn to X forward. And the blade will go at whatever set speed you have. Or the blade will cross travel at whatever set speed you have. When the blade is cut completely through the material that you are cutting, you can hit the blade stop or hit the blade travel stop and hit the blade arbor stop. You need to be careful when you lift the hold downs because they will interfere with the blade. This to be done is the blade must be put into a position in between your stops for your hold downs to come up. Right now, this stop will interfere with the blade, so you can't run that up. It won't go all the way up. So the best thing to do, start the blade up, move forward, until the blade gets into a position that's in between the stops. And then you can actually just raise the stops.
Okay.
But as you can see, the stop right now is over the top of the blade. And so if you were to lower the hold down at this point, it's going to hit the blade and it won't allow you to start it up. The blade will fall out. So you just got to make sure that your stops are not directly over the blade before you lower it. The hold downs can move back and forth. You're going to travel. Set up to run the material, put the material on the table. You're going to be pushing the material against the stops inside the machine. Push the material in, all the way to the stops. Make sure it's completely secure. At this point, it's a good idea to determine where your blade is going to stop. So once your blade gets completely out of the cut here, move this stop so it's over on the top here. The material, move that one out of the way. So now you've got an area for your blade to stop where you can raise the hold down so it's not going to hit the blade. Okay? Once you have your material located, press the hold down. You can move this here. And at this point I would put it approximately that area so it would stop the blade before it gets to this hold down. on. Hold down is set. You got power to the blade. Start the blade up. Set your RPM. Turn the water on. Check your speed. Adjust your speed to whatever you need it to be. I would start out at 1.00, and if you feel that you can run faster than that, you can incrementally change your speed up. You can change the speed on the fly. Watch the amperage. Make sure that your amperage doesn't start ramping up. As long as it stays currently and in the same general area, you're good. Stop the blade, turn the water off, raise the hold down. Your hold down is, or your blade is now in between the hold downs. And you should see that material along there, material left over. This is polished edge, so that's extra material that you're cutting to make sure that the blade does not travel outside of the blade doesn't travel outside of the material you're cutting. Okay. You take these devices and hook it over the end of the material. Find a stop to push it up against. And you push it up against the stop, making certain that you get the stop in between the two tangs. Once that's in there, lower the hold down and remove the thin material stop. You have to make sure when you're doing that you don't locate these underneath the hold down.